Hi everyone, it's Carolyn Ellis from BrillianceMastery.com, and I want to welcome you to this edition of Brilliance Mastery TV and the Bits of Brilliance. So my topic this week is Selling from the Heart, a checklist for success. Now, as a business owner, we all are faced with opportunities every single day for how do we communicate about our services and invite people to take us up on the offer to work with us. So that can come in the form of sales letter, marketing copy, sending out letters to your warm or cold prospect list, reaching out to people to ask for appointments, to set up referrals for to other people that they know who might send clients your way. So there's so many ways that we need to be able to communicate. But the challenge is, how do you communicate in a way that is true and authentic and has heart and soul in it, so you're not sounding salesy, so you're not sounding like the used car dealer, so you're not sounding and feeling and coming across to your potential clients like everybody else. Well, this past week, I saw a very clear checklist of key success ingredients coming from an experience I had with a young woman who is 8.5 years old. She's in grade 2. And I'm going to call her Sarah here because I want to protect her confidentiality. But this young girl, Sarah, so impressed me with the most incredible sales pamphlet, as she called it, that she slipped in my door one night last week. This is what she sent. It was a simple 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and you can see here she took a lot of care. This is all handwritten, and basically, in her, I guess maybe purple is one of her favorite colors. But what it says is, "Hi, my name is Sarah. If you have a pet that needs walking, I could do that job for you. I would charge 50 cents every 15 minutes. If you need to contact me, my phone number is," she gives her phone number, her address, her email address, and then she closes it with this: "Thank you for reading this letter. I love animals." And then look, she even did this most beautiful little drawing of a little girl with an animal on the end of a leash. So I was just so moved by receiving this letter. I had to call her. So I called her the next day. Long story short, she lives a couple of houses away from me, and I have a dog, Sandy, as you probably know from if you've been watching me for a little while. Talk about Sandy quite a bit. And the thing is, Sarah, I know her family had a dog because her dog had wandered into my backyard on occasion, and we don't know each other well, but I got that dog back home. Well, Sarah had to, unfortunately, her dog, as she explained to me very earnestly, had to be put to sleep because he was 105 years old in dog years, and he was just too old. But that she really, really misses him. She loves animals so much. She's just passionate about animals. And so she was talking to her mother about this and said, I want to make some money, and I love animals. And her mom said, well, maybe you could offer dog walking services. So this is where this letter came from. And needless to say, I was just so impressed by her chutzpah to get out there and slip this pamphlet in my door. It turns out, this is all done by her by hand on her own initiative. So I hired her. So she's walking Sandy now twice a week after school for 15 minutes, and it's been a real joy. We did a test walk last week. She did her first solo just a couple of days ago, and she did a fantastic job. But what was it about this letter that I want to share with you to offer you a checklist for success? Okay, couple of things, right? You might jot these down. One, you need to state a clear problem and talk about your client, not so much about you. Okay, so here, what she does is she says, if you have a pet that needs walking, I can do that for you. Pretty straightforward and clear. And this is something that we need to remember to do in our communications. What is the problem you solve for your clients? Talk about your clients and make it very clear and tangible to them how you can be the solution for them. The second thing that she did so beautifully is she conveys her passion. I love animals, she says. She's drawn a picture here. It just really became very clear. And in our follow-up conversation, clearly her passion and her love of animals was really strong, and it impressed me and it moved me. So you want to make sure that, to make sure your communication doesn't sound salesy and like everybody else down the street. You want to convey your passion and your heart in how you speak to people. Clear next steps is the next thing on your checklist. Well, she gave me very clear next steps. if you need to contact me, here's my number, my email address, etc. So what is that next action step that you want your person reading this thing to do? Pick up the phone and call me for a complimentary session. I'm going to be following up with you in 2 days' time so we can schedule a follow-up. What's the clear next step that you want them to do? 4, gratitude. Okay, isn't this sweet? Thank you for reading this letter. I mean, that just really moved me incredibly. Thank you for the time. I mean, just to show respect for people's time and energy. The world is very, very busy. People have so many choices of how they could spend their time. I'm very grateful to you for taking the time to watch these episodes. And so she conveyed that beautifully as part of her closing. The 5th thing I want to add on this checklist is to express you. Okay, she called this her pamphlet. And she personalized it with her own drawing here, her artistry. So how do you express you in your communications? Important to look at that and make sure that it feels authentic and an extension of who you are. So when people meet you in person, or they meet you on the web, or they meet you in paper, that there is harmony there. Okay, and then the 6th element to this checklist is, you don't see it from this individual one, but it's persistence. Okay, I asked Sarah, I said, how many of these did you deliver around the neighborhood? And she said, oh, I made 36 of them. And I walked around the neighborhood and put them in people's doors, except for the ones that said no flyers. I didn't go to those houses. So this girl, by hand, wrote out 36 of her sales pamphlets. So persistence. This is just such a key message for all of us. Don't give up. Keep going. Spread your net, wide and be effective. And don't just sort of stop after the first, 5 or 6 or whatever. So staying in the game is how you win the game. And that takes persistence. So I want to thank Sarah. And I'm just going to show you a little picture here of her with her very first official day on the job with Sandy. I hope you can see that. Ooh, I'm just getting it right in the camera. There we go. Okay, just getting used to where my camera is here. Really sweet. And the most beautiful thing she did after her first official day, she delivered Sandy back to me, and she also picked a few little posies, the little bluebells, to give to me as a little gift. So really sweet girl. So as your action step, is my invitation for you to step into your brilliance. Okay, let me just recap those 6 pieces of your checklist. What is the clear problem that you solve? Are you conveying your passion? Number 3, have you provided a clear next step? Number 4, do you offer your sense of gratitude and respect for the person who's receiving your communication? Number 5, express you. Don't try to copy other people, but expressing you, your authentic self. And the last element on your checklist is persistence. So my invitation for you to step into your brilliance this week is to see what kind of communication is sitting around there that you need to make. Maybe it's to send out a letter to your warm list to let them know that you've got a new program. Maybe you need to write some new sales copy for your website. Find one piece of communication. It could even just be an email to one person. Find that and write that up this next week, and keep this checklist in mind to ensure that you address all of the elements in it. Okay. So I really appreciate your comments, your feedback. I'd love for you to share with me about this checklist and your use of it. So you can do that by visiting my blog at brilliancemastery.com. And I appreciate your time and listening and watching to this. And until we meet next time, here's to unleashing your brilliance in the world. Okay, I'm going to turn it.